Hi, Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I'm glad that you all have joined me this evening for our Stampin' Up! Workshop online. I love to do these because I can answer questions live. But also what's nice is that I can send an email out to people, and if they have questions but can't make this event, they can send me their questions. And so some people did do that, and that's always great too. I've got some great projects to share tonight. Sorry, I have to make a quick pass through just to make sure I got everybody, all my computer screens stopped from repeating what I'm saying. So anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. And I guess the first thing I want to know is, I have to tell you that it is, in my book, it is officially fall now. The fall is my favorite time of year. I love the cool nights. I love the sunny, warm days. And even I just love the temperature change and the colors around and lots of things about fall. But to help me know if you guys are hearing me, down wherever you are, whether you're on my website or you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook or wherever you are where there's a chat box, go ahead and post down there. What's your favorite season and why? I'd just like to hear what everybody thinks. So while I'm waiting to get those responses to know that people are hearing me, a couple things I want you to know. If you are on Facebook and you want to comment, there's a little box right below where I'm showing that says, let me look here, see what it says. It says auto refresh comments. If that is checked, your comments are going to, the comments are going to be refreshed for you every like 90 seconds. And the issue is, if you have that checked and you're typing away and you're somewhere in the time when it's going to switch, you're going to lose everything that you commented on. So I'm just a little heads up, if you want to uncheck that, you can always refresh your comments. You can always look at it later, or you can refresh them on when you're ready to refresh them. But I just want you to know that. So if you're typing away and your comment goes away, it's because that little thing is checked. The other thing is down in where I'm showing up, there's a little like a little gear wheel. And if you have that checked, or if you open that up, you can see the different speeds that I can play at. I'm coming to you like at 720 speed, I think. That's what it said before I got started. But check that and make sure the higher the number, the clearer the picture is going to be. But also the higher the number, the more chances of it spooling or lagging or whatever. It just depends on your internet connection and my internet connection, is my understanding. So, gosh, I hope I didn't forget anything. Remember that you can always ask questions. I would love it. I love it when I get questions because it makes it easy for me to keep things going. And that's what I'm here for, is to answer questions for you. So, oh, good. Looks like lots of people are here. That's awesome. My gosh, we got people from all over the country. Oh, Deanna, you made it. Yay. I'm so happy to see that. Linda's here, and Lorena's here, and Debbie's here, and Jules here, and Francie's here, Karen's here. Lots of people. That's awesome. So we are just going to go ahead and get started. So reminder, if you have a question, feel free to pop it down in there in the comments wherever you happen to be, and I will get to it. I will be monitoring YouTube. It's harder for me to check comments on YouTube. But if you're on YouTube and you want to join us in the live chat, there's a link in the description on YouTube that you can just click on that link. It's the very first one. It'll take you to the live chat page where most everybody else is. Usually most people come to this area. It looks like everybody has different seasons they love. Yeah, honestly, I love everything, but I was kind of ready for a change. The other thing I love about fall is all of my favorite holidays, all of everybody's favorite holidays come in the fall. And there's just so many great opportunities to stamp. And that really is kind of what my whole life revolves around. And that's okay. So don't forget, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. I will, yeah, Phil or Mary Sue put up, your mouth and words are not together. It's a lagging thing. It's either your internet connection or my internet connection. So I am going to pop up a screen, so then you won't have to look at my mouth. You can just look at the screen. One of the questions that somebody sent to me was, where do you learn how to make cards And do I use the catalogs, YouTube, or something else? Okay, there's lots of different things that I've done over the years. Realize that I have 19 years of stamping experience, so I have learned from all different kinds of places. I've taken classes online, I've taken classes in person. I'm lucky enough to work for a company whose demonstrators love to share their expertise, and they share what they're doing, and then I learn that way. If I'm looking for, let's say I have a specific stamp set and I just want to play with that stamp set, but I want to see what others have done, I oftentimes will go right into Google, type in the name of the stamp set, and I usually make sure I put Stampin' Up! Afterwards, just so that it narrows down my search. And then up pops, you know, sometimes hundreds of samples of things that people have done with that stamp set. So that's where I get my inspiration. A lot of it comes from just other demonstrators. A lot of it comes from customers. It's just everywhere. So I know that's a terrible answer, but try that Google thing because I love it. It's great if you have a stamp set you haven't used for a while that you want to use. That is a great way to use your stamp sets. And yes, I do use YouTube a lot, and I also love the, honestly, I love the samples in the catalogs this year. The catalog and the holiday mini, they're awesome. So use those, that's what they're for. So tonight's workshop, mostly what I used was Lighthearted Leaves. Now this was the stamp set to me in the holiday catalog that I just absolutely loved. It's something about it. I just look at it and I see so many different options. You could do anything with this stamp set. You can color it, you could stamp it in one color, you could emboss with it. Lots of different techniques. It will look good with everything, and it would look good year round. And some of the cards I did tonight, I know we're in fall, and I did do some fall looking cards, but I also did some cards that are totally not fall colors, or totally look different. I don't know. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to play with. And so that's kind of what I focused on tonight, but I do have some other stuff too, so it's not just this. But I will tell you, I didn't do any Halloween, and there's a reason for that. Number one, I wasn't ready to totally give up summer yet and move right into Halloween. And I decided that I'm going to do a Halloween workshop on Saturday, September 26th at 10 o'clock in the morning, my time. That's totally going to focus on Halloween. Everything about it is going to be Halloween. And who knows, you know, I may even come dressed for the occasion. I don't know, we'll see. That'd be kind of fun. But anyway, I just want to put a heads up there. So I'm not really focused on Halloween tonight. Some people just don't care for Halloween, so you won't have to worry about that. So this was one of my favorite cards that I did. I love this card, but I just love the boldness of that white. And so my very first video I have is showing this card, and while you guys are watching, I'm going to go kind of sneak around and see if I can find the comments and questions I need to answer. So here we go. Hi Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this card. It's beautiful, but actually fairly easy to do. And so let's get started. To begin with, I used the stamp set Lighthearted Leaves. That's this one here. And this is available in Stampin' Up's Holiday Mini Catalog until January of 2016, January 4th, I believe it is. But this is a great set. It's got lots of great images and a couple of great sentiments. And this is one that stuck out to me and that I just absolutely loved. To begin with, we're going to come in with a piece of This Is Perfect Plum cardstock. And I'm going to use Elegant Eggplant and that big maple leaf that's in that particular stamp set. And we're going to ink that up and then stamp it onto the Perfect Plum. And I wanted to get a real contrast when I was doing this. I wanted to make sure that that purple ink really showed up. And that's why I went with the darker shade. And I'm going to zoom in here because we're going to just come in with the Uniball gel pen that we have available through Stampin' Up. And just to let you know, one of the things that people's complaints are, I always store my gel pens so that the writing part is down. That keeps all the ink flowing that way. And sometimes you'll get a little like dried area on your tip of your pen, and that's when it doesn't work. But if you just tap it lightly onto a piece of cardstock, that will get that pen ink flowing. And then all you're going to do is just come in, and actually what I found is a lighter touch not a heavy hand, a light hand. And you're just gonna go ahead and go around and color in some of the areas on that stamped image. And that's how you get that contrast with the white. It looks great. Super easy to do, kind of like doodling. So that's all I did, was to go ahead and color it in. And when I got done, okay, so after I've colored that whole thing in, I'm gonna have an image, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my framelits that coordinate with that stamp set. These are the leaflet frames, and they coordinate with those lighthearted leaves. This is the image I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna line that up with my magnetic plate and Big Shot and go ahead and cut that out. My image looks like this. And that's dry, so you can see how great that contrast is and how good that pen colors with. So once you've done that, that piece is ready to go. Then I came in with, this is a piece of Sahara sand. This was a big piece of cardstock. Let me zoom out here. You're gonna come in with a piece of Sahara sand, and this was an 8.5 by 11 that I cut in half, scored it 4 1/4, and that's how I get my base of my card. And then I came in with a little bit of washi tape. I haven't used a lot of washi tape, but this was kind of fun because it just adds some really quick color, and it's pretty easy. So you're just gonna lay down your washi tape, cross your card there, and then I'm gonna come in with my scissors. And lots of times I just tear washi tape, but this time I wanted it to have a nice clean cut. But it's kind of fun. It just puts down some color. This washi tape you can actually see through a little bit, so that Sahara sand is coming through on that black, with that black stripe. And then I'm going to come in and add some adhesive right above the line there. And this time I'm going to come in with some of our ribbon. This is beautiful Sahara sand, so it matches, coordinates with the cardstock, but it's a beautiful lace. And again, this is just going to get added right on top of that tape. And then trim that off. And I think that's beautiful in itself, just those two things. But then I came in with the ink again, and this is So Grateful for You. I love the photopolymer because you can see exactly where you're stamping, so you can make sure it's straight. And I'm going to stamp that on there. And then the last thing I did, just to add a little bit to this card, is I came in with some of our silver cardstock. This is a very shiny, shiny silver, and our 2.5 inch circle punch. Oops, make sure that you have the whole punch in there. And I'm going to punch out a circle. And then I took it and put it into our embossing folders. This is the one that's trees, and I'll post down below there what the name of it actually is. One of the things I love about these big embossing folders is they're 6 by 6 inches, so that you can put your cardstock going this way or this way, and either way will work. So I'm going to lay my cardstock in there, kind of where I want it, and then run it through the Big Shot. And then I end up with a silver circle with the trees etched in there, embossed in there. And that's just going to get added onto my card. A little adhesive. And put that on there. And then I'm going to add my leaf with a couple of dimensionals. And then last but not least, I added just a little bit of the rhinestones, the new rhinestones that we have available. These are called the iced rhinestones. And these are really, they're beautiful. Let me pull them out here so you can actually see them. Or not. But they're very sparkly, very fun. And I'm just going to pull one of those off, and it kind of slips right into that little spot on that leaf, and then you've got that beautiful card. So there you have it, a really quick way. Oh, I'm going to trim this off. Flip this over, and I'm going to just cut off the edge of that circle. And there you have a very quick, easy, fun card. I love this technique with the white gel pen. Okay, so there was my first card. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I kind of got back into using my white gel pen this week. I hadn't used my white gel pen for a while, and another demonstrator had taught me that little tip about tapping it onto a table or onto your cardstock, because it dries, and so it has that little, you know, like pudding, the little skin that's on there. And if you tap it, it busts it, and then it works better. And then the other tip, you know, I always thought that if it wasn't working, I'll just press harder and make it work, but that's not the case. You press lighter and it works better and it flows better. And oh my gosh, love the card. I just love how it turned out. So I actually have made a couple of these, and I'm going to give one away tonight. And I have to come up with some kind of a question to ask. But before I do that, I talked about that textured embossing folder. And I said I was going to put the name of it down in the video, but honestly, the videos are like hot off the press, and so I haven't had time to go back and do a little bit of editing. But it's the Woodland Textured Impressions folder, which, oh, this one's awesome. There's so much that you could do with this one. I love it. But it also comes as a bundle. And so you can bundle and save here by buying both this stamp set and this embossing thing together. And one thing that's nice about this set is, as you can see, it's going to take you all the way through fall. You'd only need this one item. I want to see that happen. But anyway, so it was the Woodland Impressions embossing folder that I wanted you to know about. Okay, so my question is, the first person that can answer correctly on this card, which two colors of purple did I use? I used a purple ink and I used a purple cardstock, and they're different colors. You got to get them both right. First person to answer correctly will get this card sent to them in the mail. So while that is happening, go ahead, post it in your comments, and I will keep tabs on it. Hopefully I'll be able to watch. And let's see, here we are. And we will move on to the next. Ooh, can't show that one. That one has the answer. So guess we'll wait a few seconds. I am going to make a quick trip around and see where the answers are. Who's coming up with the correct one? And it looks like it totally lost. There we go. Weird. Okay. Oh yeah, we got a correct answer here. Carrie Ruger Koss, excuse me. Gus has the correct answer. It was Perfect Plum and Eggplant, or Elegant Eggplant. So Carrie, if you will send me a message or an email with your mailing address, I will get those sent out in the mail to you. So congratulations to her. Now I am going to bring you back on here because I had a couple more questions. While you guys were watching that video about that card, love that card. I kind of looked over the comments around and found a couple questions. And so Karen asked how our dog was doing. And I will tell you that Petra is, we've really been blessed to have her in our family. I'm very happy that we have her. She's just a hoot. She cracks me up. Things are going well, and we love her to death. And I think she's happy here. We did dog sit a little puppy, a 4-month-old golden doodle this weekend. Good gosh, he's adorable. He looked to me like a Muppet. The guy that owns him, when I said that to him, kind of looked at me like he didn't know what a Muppet was. He was very young, so I had to explain that, you know, in order to know what Muppets are, you have to be in at least probably your 40s, late 40s maybe. Anyway, or have little kids, which he had neither. So anyway, she did really well with this puppy, and if I could have kept him, I would have 2 dogs now. But it's best that we don't have 2 dogs. One is good. And anyway, she's ran outside. She likes to protect the yard at night. She likes to protect the yard all day, actually. But she was here for a while, sitting with me, and then just before I started, she wanted to go outside. So I'm sure she wants to keep the deer out of the yard, keep them away from our apple tree. But little does she know that I want them to eat the apples. So the other question was, Tamara asked about retired product. What do I do with retired product? So as you know, I have been a demonstrator for many, many years. And so obviously over the years, there's been lots of retired product. I have done lots of different things with it. I have given it to charity. I've sold it at garage sales. Many items I keep because there's always those stamp sets that I keep because I love them. I have a specific cabinet over here that stores the stuff that is retired that I just keep over there. I've given some to my sister. Last year at Christmas time, I did a pay it forward campaign, and I actually mailed packages out to people that helped me with that pay it forward campaign. That one will be coming up again in Thanksgiving time. It was absolutely a success last year and a lot of fun, and people were really thrilled getting a package in the mail with some free stamps. So those are some of the things I do with them. I still have a lot here, so I have to do something at some point. I just haven't figured out yet what. So that answers those questions. If you have questions, feel free to pop them down in the chat box. My goal tonight is to make sure that I am not on the screen when I think I'm not. We know how that goes. So anyway, these were the supplies that I used to make that card. I just did up a quick screen so that you could see it. These slides will be available after the event to the show tonight. They'll be posted right below the video on Facebook. So if you just want to see exactly what I use, but pretty simple card, pretty simple supplies. I love the look of that ribbon too. Oh, this card. This happens to be one of my absolute favorite cards that I've done. I was inspired by another demonstrator to do this. I would never, honestly, I probably wouldn't have put these subtle colors together this time of year. I have a tendency, I've noticed, to follow kind of the seasons with the colors, where I use, you know, the subtles in the spring and I use the regals in the fall. I mean, really probably how Stampin' Up! Set it up. But I just absolutely love this card, and it would go great. It could be an anytime card. It could be anything. So here we go. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how I did this leaf. I was inspired by somebody on Pinterest, and I just loved it because it didn't have the colors of fall or the colors of leaves. It brought in some other pastel colors, and I just think it's beautiful. And it really made this stamp set look fabulous. So to begin with, I used Lighthearted Leaves by Stampin' Up! And this is a set that's available until January 4th of 2016. It's a fun set. There's a lot of things you can do with it. I'm actually going to have quite a few videos, and I'll link them all together using this stamp set so that you can see all the different projects. But let's go ahead and get started. So to begin with, I came in, I'm going to use a piece of paper here because I'm going to do a little embossing, and I want to make sure my embossing powder stays in one area. And I'm using that maple leaf from the stamp set. And somewhere I have a piece of paper. Oh, here it is. I'm using a piece of cardstock, and this cardstock, I don't know if you can see that, but it's called Shimmery White, and it actually has a little shimmer to it. What I like about this is I'm going to be using a blender pen and some ink, and it just holds up a little bit better under that. And so to begin with, I'm going to take my Versamark, and I'm going to ink up the stamp. And then go ahead and stamp that onto my cardstock. And you won't be able to see anything because Versamark is a clear ink, but it's a clear sticky ink. And then I'm going to sprinkle on some white embossing powder. And I sprinkle it quite liberally. And then flip it over to get all the ink or all the powder back onto that piece of paper. And the reason I use a piece of paper is so that I can easily get this all back into the jar of embossing powder without making a huge mess. I always get a little bit out, but not too bad. One of the things you'll find with embossing powder is it seems to expand once you've opened the jar. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to take my piece of cardstock here, and I'm actually going to heat it to melt that embossing. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but we'll see. So it's probably hard to see because it's white on white, but if I flip it, you can see it shiny. What the embossing does is it just leaves a raised edge on your cardstock. So then I'm coming in with some colors, and I've got So Saffron, Pool Party, lots of the soft subtles, Pear Pizzazz, and Marina Mist. And I'm just going to go ahead and use a blender pen with this and go ahead and color in with those ink colors. And so I'll start with the blue here, the Marina Mist. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just add color. And actually it'll stay right into those embossed areas Kind of acts as a barrier to keep the ink exactly where I want it. And it doesn't have to be colored perfect. It kind of gives it a little watercolor look. You can see a little bit of Marina Mist goes a long way. And once I've done that and got where I wanted to change out colors. Oh, wait, I'm going to do the petals here, the flower. So I just went ahead and did all the Marina Mist that I wanted. And I'm just going to take this onto a piece of scrap paper and just color till that color goes away. And then you're ready to start into the next color. And so we'll come into the yellow. There you have it. Just a really fun, quick way to color that design. And it really makes it pop. And then what I did is I came in with my framelits and my Big Shot. I'm going to use my magnetic platform, my plastic platform, my image, and then I'm going ahead and I'm going to use the leaflet framelits in the big catalog. And I'll pull out that leaf. And with that magnetic platform, it's easy to line up exactly where you stamped it so that it'll stay in place, won't move on me. And then another plastic plate over the top, and I'll cut that out. Now on this card, as you can see, I just added this on to a card base. This was actually an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock that I cut in half, cut it 5.5, scored it 4 1/4, folded it on the edge. And then I went ahead and just made a little background using the texture, this embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that in the picture, but it's just got a little bit of a texture back there. Wrapped around some baker's twine and stamped it. And then I went ahead and stamped Believe from that same stamp set in the Marina Mist so that it showed up a little bit better. But just a fun, easy card, easy to do. So if you haven't already done so, so there you have it, card number 2. I like that card. It turned out, it's cool. I like that technique too. Not so much just the card, but I love the technique. I love the, I just love the white emboss because I never, really did that. I always black embossed everything. And so white embossing just makes it a little softer and look a little different. One of the questions I had while I was checking around was Melody asked if I do card sketches before I start a card. And I will tell you that I don't. I don't even draw it. I might have made a few drawings in my life, but not much. If I find a sketch that I like or an idea that I like, I will use that as just a helper. But I don't really sketch out cards. Because normally what I do is I just kind of decide what I want to play with and then go from there and then figure out what to do with it. I hope that helps, Melody. I do like that there are demonstrators out there that do card sketches, and I'm actually thinking of joining up with a group that does them. So somebody comes up with a plan, like a map, and then everybody else follows it. And I used to do that with Operation Right Home when they were still around. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but Operation Right Home has closed because there aren't enough troops stationed all over the world to send cards to. They had so many. But they always did a sketch challenge once a month, and I always participated in that one. But I'm now looking at another group where I might participate in a sketch challenge. So keep an eye on my blog, because if I do a sketch challenge, or my Facebook page, if I do a sketch challenge, I will challenge you guys to participate and then probably do some kind of a prize, is my thoughts at this point. That's my thoughts. So I hope that helps. These are the products that I used to make that card with. All these ink pads actually come in the soft subtles, or we don't call them soft subtles anymore. We call them subtles now. So there you have that. Let's see what else. I'm hoping I didn't miss somebody's questions, but if I missed your question, post it again and I will get it answered. There's that card one more time. That looks so watercolory. Okay, this one was super easy. Up close, when it's this big to me, it looks, I can see all the different areas that are kind of goofy, but it looks so doodled. That's what I like. So we're going to just go ahead and start this one right away. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's real quick and easy, but it's really stunning. So let me get started. So to begin with, I'm going to go ahead and use the stamp set Lighthearted Leaves. This is a stamp set available through Stampin' Up! Until January 4th of 2016, but it's a great stamp set. I have done several videos with it, and I'll link them into this one. But it's great. It just has a real fun, funky look. So I started out with a piece of Sahara sand and basic black, and then a piece of not quite navy, or island indigo, excuse me, island indigo. This was a full sheet 8.5 by 11 where I cut it at 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4, and folded in half, and that gives me my card base. And then the piece of black, probably hard to see, but it is cut. So my piece of black is cut 4 by 5 1/4. So it's going to layer right onto that card base. And then you can see I just took down the Sahara sand just 1/8 of an inch less so that I had a nice little border around there. So to begin with, I'm coming in with Stampin' Up's new archival black ink. This is new to the holiday mini catalog. It's new in our line. It's a great ink. It's the pad is actually felt, which works great with all of our stamps, whether you're using wood clear or the photopolymer. It's great ink for watercoloring with. It's permanent so that it can be stamped on our cello bags or metal or wood. And I'm just taking this image and stamping it a few times around my cardstock. And then I'm going to come in with this other image and stamp this on there to fill in some of my holes that I've got going on here. And once I've done that, it's going to dry. That because this archival ink dries so quickly, it's good to go. And then I'm coming in with my Island Indigo marker, and I'm just going to quickly fill in and color in some of the areas on this cardstock. Okay, once you have that whole thing colored in, it looks great. There's nothing wrong with that. That could just be the base of my card. But when I bring in my white gel pen, that really just takes it up a notch. One of the things I'm going to tell you about the white gel pen, it's a great little pen. You need to store it vertically so that all the ink is down here, the writing end of the tip is down. And then before you get started, sometimes you might have to just tap it onto a piece of cardstock. And all that does is it just breaks the skin where it has dried before, and then it works better. The other thing is when you're using this pen, use it with a light touch. So when you come in, all I did was just come in and then color in some of my spots right where the stamp had already been marked. So it's like doodling, only they give you just a little template to work with. And you can even add your own if you want more. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in some spots and really kick this card up a little bit. Okay, so once you have that all colored, you can see where I put the white into all of that, all those images. I'm going to go ahead and put the card together, but first I have to go ahead and stamp and figure out where I'm going to stamp that Believe and emboss it. So I'm going to bring in another sheet of paper, and this is just to catch the embossing powder, and also you'll be able to see better what I'm doing here. But I'm going to line up my 2 pieces of cardstock so that I have an edge. I'm not going to put them together yet. I'm just going to line them up, and then I'm going to come in with my 2 by 1 3/8 oval punch, and I'm going to punch a hole in this piece. I guess then I need to line them up so I can see exactly where I want to stamp that Believe. And once I've done that, I'm going to come in with a little Versamark and the Believe from that stamp set, Lighthearted Leaves. And of course, you won't be able to see where the Versamark is because it is a clear ink. But when I pull this piece off, I'll be able to sprinkle that with embossing powder. And then heat set it. And then once that's heat set, I'm going to go ahead and put the embossing powder back in the jar. I actually heat set it off camera. I'm going to go ahead and take some of the stitched, our basic black stitched satin ribbon. Boy, that's a mouthful. And tie this into a bow. There we go. Once I have that tied, then I can just kind of adjust it how I want it. I'm going to get my good scissors, and I'm actually going to trim off my edges so they look nice. And then I'm going to use dimensionals. Okay, there. Sorry, my desk is kind of a mess, and I'm having a hard time finding everything. Actually, this is the second run through on this because I did the first one yesterday and realized I wasn't videotaping after I got the whole card put together and everything put away. So I'm just doing a real quick redo here. So I just added dimensionals on there. Make sure I got all the tops off. And then I'm going to line this up exactly where I want it on my card. And those dimensionals give it just a little bit of lift, so it really shows up that oval. And then once that's done, I'm going to bring in my Island Indigo cardstock and some snail adhesive and add that on to my base. And you can see how quick and easy this card goes together. So there you have it. I will list. So there it is. On that particular video, I actually did the embossing after. I shut it off and did the embossing. That's probably where I messed up. I probably shut it off, did the embossing, and didn't realize that I'd shut it off. So my sister just made a comment on my phone that my hair looked good, and now I messed it up. So there, I hope it looks good now. Just kidding. Anyway, fun card, easy to do. Here's one right here that I'm going to be sending out to somebody, some lucky person tonight online with me tonight live. So my question for this card is the first person to tell me what 3 colors of cardstock I used to make this card. We'll get this in the mail. Jean asked, and while you guys are doing that, I'm going to tell you, Jean asked if I do I put cards on Pinterest or get ideas on Pinterest? I do both. I both have a Pinterest account and that I pin to. I have files, folders up there for all different kinds of stuff. So I pin onto Pinterest, and I also get ideas off Pinterest. Pinterest is huge in the stamping world right now. Again, because you can just go to Pinterest and you can put in the stamp name, the name of the stamps that you have, and you'll get a bunch of ideas of things to do with it. So, and Lorena asked, do I take a picture of each card I make? I have to probably say no. I don't think so. I take a picture of a lot of stuff that I make, but I don't necessarily take a picture of everything I make. Hope that answers your question, Lorena. I do have some stuff in the back here, just some things that I did. There's that cute witch's hat kit. That's adorable. That's in the holiday mini catalog. Some of my card samples. And then that back there, that board back there, that's the Watercolor Wishes card kit. And I'm telling you what, if you need a present for somebody or want to make some fun cards, that is a great kit. Comes with everything in it, stamp set and all, and it's a really cute stamp set with lots of different ideas. So, I gotta pay better attention because no, I'm running over to, I'm actually looking right now on YouTube, but I don't see anybody that has the total correct answer. This is a tough question. Seriously. Okay. Let's see, I have to go back down here and see where I get started. Deanna, yay! Deanna won. Deanna, I'm really glad that you came tonight. That's awesome. I am not sure that you've been to one of these live. So Deanna, I will send that card to you in the mail. I already have your address, so you don't even have to send me that. Congratulations. I think you're going to enjoy that card. And I hope you're doing well. So let's bring back the slides. Let's see where I am. There we go. I haven't messed up yet tonight, but I probably shouldn't have just said that. So these are, that's the card. These are the supplies that I used to do that card. You can't even tell, but that's basic black ribbon. So it was Sahara Sand, Island Indigo. Oh, I forgot to put basic black into here. Basic black cardstock too was in that card. So, like I said, the slides will be available later. Okay, this one, this is the very first card that I did with this technique. I love this, or this stamp set. I love this technique. Super easy. You'll find that you'll be able to do it with any stamp set that you own. So I'm just going to quick make this. This isn't a very long video, so let me get this started. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm just going to show you quickly how I did this technique. It's very simple. I took a piece of watercolor paper, and this is actually cut 4 by 5 1/4. And actually, just to let you know right now, it's mounted onto a card base that was Cajun Craze, and it was at 8.5 by 11. I cut it in half at 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 is your card size, and scored at 4 1/4. That was your base. But I wanted to show you this technique because it's super easy, and I think you're going to like it. So again, like I said, I started with a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp using, I have Cherry Cobbler, Cajun Craze, and Crushed Curry. I just wanted to make sure that I knew which colors were which because I don't want to mix up my inks. So I'm going to start by inking up my stamp in the Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to stamp that onto my cardstock approximately in the middle. I'm not very good at measuring. So I'm just going to do that. And then I need to clean my stamp in between because I'm using a different color. So this time I'm coming in with Cajun Craze. Now, if I was using colors that were light and dark, or if I was using a color that was lighter than the next color, I wouldn't have bothered cleaning it because it's not going to mess up your ink. But because I'm going to from a dark color to lighter colors, I need to clean it off. So that was Cajun Craze. And then I really want to make sure it's cleaned off when I stick it into my Crushed Curry. Those two colors look they look very similar on here, but I think when you see what I'm doing with this technique, you'll see the difference. So I just went ahead and I stamped my images, and then I'm taking some washi tape, and you can use painter's tape or anything else. I'm using washi tape because Okay, I think I'm back. I hope so. There probably was a lag there, and I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I think we got bumped off, but I am back, and if you refresh your screen, you should be able to see me, I'm hoping. Yeah, see, it still shows that I'm gone, but I'm back. So we're just going to keep going. I know I lost a few people. Okay, I think I'm back. I hope so. I am going to go ahead and restart that video. I'm not sure when we lost it, but I believe it was at this video. So sorry about that. Those things happen. Welcome to the wonderful world of technology. Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm just going to show you quickly how I did this technique. It's very simple. I took a piece of watercolor paper, and this is actually cut 4 by 5 1/4. And actually, just to let you know right now, it's mounted onto a card base that was Cajun Craze, and it was at 8.5 by 11. I cut it in half at 5 1/2. So 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 is your card size, and scored at 4 1/4. That was your base. But I wanted to show you this technique because it's super easy, and I think you're going to like it. So again, like I said, I started with a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp using, I have cherry cobbler, Cajun Craze, and crushed curry. I just wanted to make sure that I knew which colors were which because I don't want to mix up my inks. So I'm going to start by inking up my stamp in the cherry cobbler, and I'm going to stamp that onto my cardstock approximately in the middle. I'm not very good at measuring. So I'm just going to do that. So again, like I said, I need to clean my stamp in between because I'm using a different color. So this time I'm coming in with Cajun Craze. Now, if I was using colors that were light and dark, or if I was using a color that was lighter than the next color, I wouldn't have bothered cleaning it because it's not going to mess up your ink. But because I'm going from a dark color to lighter colors, I need to clean it off. So that was Cajun Craze. And then I really want to make sure it's cleaned off when I stick it into my crushed curry. Those two colors they look very similar on here, but I think when you see what I'm doing with this technique, you'll see the difference. So I just went ahead and I stamped my images, and then I'm taking some washi tape, and you can use painter's tape or anything else. I'm using washi tape because it was sitting here next to my stamp table. And it's easy. And I'm just going to mask off an area. And I'm not even setting this up to make sure that it's perfectly straight. If you are into that, use a grid behind your paper, and then you'll be able to stamp. Oops, you'll be able to stamp better and get it all straight. But honestly, I can't be that picky. So that's just me. So I'm going to go ahead and mask off my leaves. Like that. And then I'm coming in with an aqua painter. And this is just like a paintbrush. It has water down in the tube here. This opens up and you put water in there. And then you've got a continuous flow of water for your watercoloring. And I love this technique because it's easy. Well, look at now. I said I didn't care if it was crooked, but I have to move this one because it's too crooked for me. There, I think that's better. Anyway, I'm just going to show you quickly. So you want to just squeeze it a little bit to get that water flowing through to the end of that paintbrush. I'm going to start right in the middle, and I'm just going to brush back and forth. And you will see how that bleeds in. And then clean off you're going to clean off the tip, and you're going to start again at this side and go that way. Super, super easy. That's how fast and easy this technique is. You can let it sit there and wait till it dries. You can hit it with a heat gun and let it dry. But when you pull up the, washi tape, you will see how that looks. Fun, easy, super easy technique. And then this just gets put onto a base of a card. So there you have it. There is the card. I love this card, so I'm really glad that I got to get back on with you guys without totally losing you. I had, The wonderful world of technology. It works great until it all of a sudden it doesn't. I've never had, it actually happened on my end and it crashed. But the nice thing is when that happens, if I'm quick enough, I can get back on and catch you guys before y'all take off. So I'm glad I'm back. I'm glad you got to see that card. One of my favorites. Love that card. Like I said, that was the first card I did with this stamp set. It's just to me, it screamed that. But use anything that you have, anything, any of your stamps that you already have. Okay, so let's see where I am here in the slides. Did I have? Oh yeah, I did have a couple questions. One of them was, how do you keep from sending the same card to someone? And that was asked by Francis. And I have to tell you, Francis, that I don't really keep track. When I make cards, like I'll make customer thank you cards, and each month will have a different card. So I'll make basically the same thank you for every customer that orders that month up to a certain, you know. Birthday cards, I'll make birthday cards for maybe a couple months. So I'll have enough for like a month or two, or sometimes I just make a special birthday card for somebody. And so I don't know. I probably have sent the same card to somebody. There's a very good possibility to that, to be honest with you, that I have sent the same card. But nobody's ever told me I have. The other thing, I send a lot of sympathy cards to people, and I just kind of make sure that, I mean, there isn't normally people that have, I send a sympathy card to more than once a year. Although sometimes I think that's changing at the older I get. So these are the supplies that I use to make that watercolor card. It's just watercolor paper, and I found that watercolor paper or the shimmer white paper works the best because it has a coating on it, and so the water moves better. Our Whisper white cardstock is almost too thin and it kind of bubbles. I don't really care to do that with the watercolor. So fun. Oh, I popped this one in here. This was a card that I did a while back and I haven't showed it for a while. I love it, and it's a great time of year to show this one. And this was a sympathy card I did probably a year ago. So I'm going to start this video. I'm going to make a quick round to see how people are holding up and if they have any questions. Hi Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and today I'm going to do a little tutorial on how to use the Brayer. We had a tutorial by Michelle Zindorf, who is the Brayer expert, and she showed us how to do some brayering to make some beautiful cards. And this is just a really simple technique, but I wanted to try it. And so I thought, well, let's give it a try, see how it works. And I love the cards, and so I thought I'll do a video. So we're going to go ahead and get started. To get started, you're going to need a piece of Whisper white cardstock. This is just our regular cardstock that Stampin' Up! Carries. And I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm going to attach this so that it doesn't move around on me, because that's the biggest thing. And it's kind of awkward doing it under the camera because I don't want to bang the legs. And of course, the minute I start taping, I can hear the guy out in the yard fertilizing. So sorry about that. Anyway, to begin with, we're going to use the Brayer, and the Brayer is a tool that's been around for years. I've had this one, oh gosh, probably 15, 16 years. And as long as you keep it clean and out of heat and sunlight, it will be fine. It'll stay nice and pliable. The one thing you do want to do is when you store it, I store mine so it hangs up in like a shoe. It's a holder for different shoes. And I just tuck it into one of the pockets so that the Brayer part is always not touching anything. You want to either store it that way or flat like that, but you do not want to store it this way, because if you store it down with this on an edge, you're going to end up with a flat spot on your Brayer, and it's going to show up in your project when you're working. So I'm going to start with Daffodil Delight, and we're going to go ahead and ink up that Brayer. And I'm just going, you want to make sure that when you ink it up, you're going all the way around the Brayer, not like this. Because if you ink it up like this, you're only going to ink up half of the Brayer. So you want to make sure that you're running that all the way across one direction. And then when you start to do the Brayering, you actually start off the cardstock and work your way down the cardstock, and it's a really light touch. You don't need to put a lot of pressure onto the Brayer. It's just really, really, really light. I was surprised at when I was doing it earlier, I was pressing really hard, and I just wasn't happy with my with my work. And you're going to see that you're going to leave a lot of ink on this side of the card of the paper, so you want to have something down to protect your surface, but just go ahead and start and then slowly run it down. And honestly, you have to make sure that you do not put too much pressure on that, and just bring it all the way down your project. And then you're going to ink it up again. And you're going to do this until you're happy with the results of your Daffodil Delight. I have got to put lighter pressure on that. I'm getting a little carried away. And then bring it down. But you can see where you get that gradient look, the variegated look. Oh, I had a little spot there that, and I'm going to ink it up one more time. And then bring it down. And anyway, then you get to see the look of that yellow. And then once you've got that and you're happy with that, this is how you get the various looks. And so then I'm going to come in with some pumpkin pie. Now this color is darker than the yellow, so I can go ahead and ink up the pumpkin pie right on that same brayer that was in yellow. It's not going to muddy up my ink pad. It's just going to be fine because it's a darker color that I'm inking it up with. And now this time, again, you're going to start outside off the paper and work your way in, but you're not going to work your way down as far. You're just going to work your way down the edge. Isn't that beautiful? Hoo-wee. And then bring it down. It's just so pretty. And that pumpkin pie, it just amazes me how dark that gets. And again, you can keep adding color and adding color and adding color. I honestly don't think I need to add much more to that one. I love how that looks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. And I'm going to flip this over because I don't think I want that. There we go. Because this time I'm going to do green on this side. So I'm going to go away. Oh, I'm going to show you how I cleaned my brayer. Okay, because I'm going to clean my brayer because I want to take this same brayer into some Pear Pizzazz green. And I don't want to put the orange into the green pad, and because it's a real light green. So what I did is I took a paper towel, folded it in half, and then I'm just spraying it with some of our cleaner, and then running that brayer right down the paper towel, getting all that ink off. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over again and do the same thing because I want to make sure that orange and yellow ink is off of there. Yeah, now it's clean. So now it's ready. So now I'll come in. It's a little wet, but that's all right. Now I'm going to come in, put that down, come in with Pear Pizzazz. Ink it the same way. Get it all good and inked, and then off the edge, where I'm going to have to, oh, there we are. Okay. I'm going to hold this down. A little concerned. There we go. See how I pressed too hard and I ended up with a line? And that's what happens when you put too much pressure on the brayer. So I'm going to see if I can get that brayered out. There we go. Still a little too much pressure. No, I don't like it. When you keep working it, there we go. So once I've got that done, as it dries, it's gonna sink into the paper and not be so vibrant. But it's beautiful right now. And then once I've done that, I'm coming in with the stamp set Lovely as a Tree. The stamp set has been around, in my collection, probably the longest. It's one of the biggest sellers every year for Stampin' Up. And it's a great set. So I inked that up with a Memento black ink and stamp that down. And then I'm going to come in with, this is a stamp from Thoughts and Prayers. This is one of those stamps. And I'm just going to stamp that right there. This was at one point, this was a double-sided stamp. Stampin' Up! Doesn't do that anymore, so now it comes as 2 separate stamps. But so this is going to end up being a sympathy card. So you can see when I place this onto the black trim with, there's a little speck there, the black trim on a white cardstock, how you get that. It's just a fun look. Makes a great sympathy card. Just a thinking of you card and a congratulations card or whatever. So there's a great technique with the brayer. Do you have any questions? Okay, so there's a technique with the brayer. With this card, I used Whisper White cardstock, but I think that if I had used like shimmer white, because there's a little coating on it, the inks would have blended better. Not that they're terrible, they're not. I just love that look. And it's just a fun way to use the brayer. Not a lot of people, I haven't done a lot with the brayer as far as videotapes, and so that it was kind of fun to show that one. Fall is always a good time for those kinds of cards. Now I realize that I've lost some people. Some people can't seem to get back on, but this will be posted up on YouTube afterwards, and I will send out the link to those of you who signed up to RSVP for the event, and I'll put it up on the Facebook event page too. So hopefully we will get everybody the videos they want. And I'm really sorry. I feel really bad, but you know, technology, gotta love it. If you don't love it, you might as well, because it's here to stay. So that was just a quick card. So I wanted a couple of things towards the end here. We're getting towards the end, so if you have questions, please post them. These are the weekly deals this week from Stampin' Up! There's some pretty fun little accessories on there. Of course, you know, we all love the pearls and we all love the sequins. A couple of punches. I loved my scallop tag topper punch, and that's a pretty good deal on it. And the silver glimmer paper. So check those out. Another thing that's been updated this week is the clearance rack. And these are just some of the things that are on the clearance rack. There's a lot of product on there that you might find some really screaming good deals that you can't live without. So check those out. There is, this was a video on the hand-painted designer series paper, which I think I'm going to show because it's just kind of fun. I love this fall paper that we have for this
Hi everyone,
for this fall. So here we go.
Team with Tiffany Breinholt, one of our amazingly talented designers here at Stampin' Up! And we want to show you 3 of the beautiful hand-painted designer series paper packages from the holiday or autumn-winter catalog. The first one we want to highlight is called Home for Christmas. And you can see the traditional colors and traditional images. They have kind of a retro or vintage feel to them. You'll see the images like ornaments and fun patterns. This one's my favorite. Yeah, the playful reindeer. So cute. And this one's my favorite, the Jolly Santa Claus. The idea behind these images is that they'll bring back memories from childhood Christmases and just that vintage feel. So they're really beautiful. The next one we want to highlight is called Season of Cheer. And these are traditional colors and images as well. You can see the patterns and some of the same images like the ornaments, but these really focus on the watercolor trend. So this watercolor paper has a softer look to it, just creates a different feel for your projects. Whoops. All of the images have been watercolored by hand and just a really pretty, soft watercolor look for your projects. Okay, the third one that we want to highlight is called Into the Woods. And this one was done for the autumn season. This is actually the paper that Tiffany worked on. And there's just lots of really fun texture in these papers and images that can really be used on any autumn project. Really beautiful colors. They have that hand-painted look to them, and they will create just a really vibrant, earthy, and beautiful feel on your projects. Really fun colors and texture for autumn. Okay, so you heard me mention the term hand painted more than once. So Tiffany, why don't you explain what that means and kind of the process behind creating these papers?
Okay, so when we're designing a DSP, we start out with an idea, and I usually go on the internet and I gather some images, and I make a board like this, and then I do some little sketches of what I kind of rough sketches of what I'm thinking the DSP should look like. And with this DSP, usually when we do the watercolor, we use some of our own inks so that they're pretty color accurate. But with this one, we wanted to do like a thicker paint, so we used acrylic. And I went to the store and found some paints that were similar to some of our cardstock colors. And then I started painting away. And you can see that these coordinate exactly to the DSP, the final printed DSP. Here's the wood grain. It has a cool,
I wish everybody could feel that, the
Yeah.
layers of paint.
the texture is fun. All of them kind of have a cool texture, but the wood grain feels like what you would imagine wood, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel like. So some of these patterns I actually didn't paint the full 12 by 12. So you can see I've painted little bits, and then in Photoshop I would kind of arrange them so they would make a full sheet.
It would have taken a long time to paint that.
Yes, it would have. So after that, I actually took these to our photography department, and we shot them individually, one-on-one, and then we put them on the computer. And I had to do some color correcting with them so that they match our cardstock very accurately. And as you can see, the paint didn't match exactly,
Yeah,
but
this is the finished
yes, the
paper.
finished. And there's quite a few. I mean, you can just see the color difference there. So when we go to the print,
Sorry about that. So then they take it to a printer who then prints out the sheets, and then they actually go to the printer with cardstock and make sure that everything jives with our cardstock line. So it's just a really big process, but I liked getting to meet the designer of the paper and how her process works. So that is the papers. I don't think I had any more questions. I kind of peeked around while we were all watching that video. I'm going to pull up my slides again because I do just have a couple more things to share, and then we are done. So I talked about the clearance rack. There's the papers. Oh, these are some cards I've done with these papers. I just think these are so cute. This little bear, love him. And I look forward to playing with him. I'm kind of thinking probably November's class or online workshop will probably feature, oh good gosh, I'm so sorry. We'll probably feature this stamp set and this whole product line because I just love that paper. So watch for that in November, or watch for a thank you card coming that might look similar to some of these. September's tutorial uses the Sprinkles of Life stamp set, and it's just a stepped up version of some cards with that. The Sprinkles of Life stamp set is the Ronald McDonald set for this year. So I like to use that because I like to support the Ronald McDonald House. A couple of ways that you can get that tutorial is, sorry, my slides now keep jumping around. You can join my virtual club and place your order for this month, and you will get that. If you don't know what my virtual club is, it's an online club where they commit to 6 months, $25 order a month, and then at the end of it, of 6 months, they get $25 in free product. But they also get this tutorial and a thank you card and all kinds of fun stuff. That's my online virtual club. But if you place a $40 order this month, you'll automatically get this tutorial for free. And if you haven't gotten my tutorials before, it's PDFs, so printable to you with the instructions and the measurements and whatnot. So that's this month's free tutorial. Tonight is the last night to get the half off the paper pumpkin if you are a first-time subscriber. Tonight is the end of that promotion. And actually, this is the cutoff too for the September paper pumpkin. So if you're interested, don't forget to use the promo code half off in the promo code box on the paper pumpkin website. So just so you're aware, anybody that places an order in the next 48 hours through my online store will get a fabulous new product goodie bag from me. I send them out. This one will take a little bit longer because I'm actually heading out of town next Wednesday. So when I get back, probably the 21st, I'll put those goodie bags together and get them mailed out. But you need to use this hostess code so that I know who's placed an order with this and keep it all together. You can click here on that blue screen to get to my shop. If you're placing an order of $150 or more, don't use the hostess code. Take those Stampin' rewards for yourself. I will still send you the goodie bag. And like I said, all orders must be in by Saturday, September 12th. And then I'll get those bags sent out. I won't get them out till the 21st because I'm going to be gone starting Wednesday. I did have a couple of more questions today from people. One of them was, and I've had this question a couple times this week, and so I'm kind of concerned about that, but they asked if they placed an order, do they have to pay shipping twice? I think they think that they place the orders from me and then I ship it to them. But no, if you place an order, it's shipped directly to you from Stampin' Up. So it's a one-time shipping fee of either $6.95 or 10%. But I've actually had a couple people ask me that this week. So I just want to make sure people are aware of that the shipping is just a one-time fee. And does Stampin' Up send the order to you and then send it to me? No, the Stampin' Up sends the order directly to you. It doesn't even come through me. What comes from me is your goodie packet. I would need to show you where to put the hostess code. And another thing that I realized today was that, no, I just forgot. Isn't that funny how that works? It was just on the tip of my tongue too. So I'm just going to quickly show you where to put the hostess code. So when you get onto the Stampin' Up store, this is at the Stampin' Up, you are going to click on the store. And this will take you into a store. And if you have an account, go ahead and sign in. Otherwise, create yourself an account. I'm going to use my account that I have on here. Log in. You can also go in as a guest too. So you don't really have to have an account online. You can just go in as a guest. I'm going to pick something to purchase. I'll pick this. I'll add it to my bag. And then I'll go to view my bag. And the minute you get to view your bag, this is where you put your hostess code. You're going to put that number right in here, and then you're going to click apply. And that will apply that hostess code to your order. So pretty simple to do. I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of how to do that. Now, once you're in there and you hit apply, the next thing I wanted to show you, I'm going to go up into my account quickly and just show you a couple things. Okay. At some point, you may be asked if you want to allow my demonstrator to contact me with updates and other important information. It would really be good for you to click yes, because if you click no, I don't have any idea who ordered and I can't see it. It's what we call a no contact order, and I won't be able to see it. So click yes to that one, and you can click no to Stampin' Up doesn't need to get in touch with you. So I hope that you realize that, and then click Save Changes. If you have an account online, it might be a good idea to check that. I've had a few people place online orders that haven't gotten the benefit of that because they have that checked, and then it's what we call a no contact order, and I can't see it. So I just don't want that to happen. We've got a couple more things going on here. Now you're seeing my notes on my slides. Door prize form. It is time to fill out the door prize slip. I've already picked a number for the winner. But if you go ahead and click, if you're on YouTube, it's down in the description. If you're on my blog, it's right below the video. If you're on Facebook or into the app, it's down below. There should be, I think it's orange buttons that say door prize slip. Is my guess. Yes. Door prize slip or shop online. If you go in there, it will take you right to the door prize, and you can go ahead and fill that out. And I think you'll be happy to see what I'm giving away tonight as the door prize. I like it. I don't know why you guys wouldn't. And if you have any other questions, now would be the time to ask. So I think we did pretty good, except for that one little blip where I got bumped off. So just so that you're aware, I will be keeping tabs on the door prize slip, but this is what I'm giving away tonight. It is a wood stamp set. It is called Good Greetings. It is a stamp set that was an exclusive last year for a little while. I think it was only available for like a month. Lots of fun things for cards, all kinds of cards, all different cards is in here. So I hope that, I hope you win. Okay, so I picked a number beforehand, and as you can see, it's written on this little card, number 36. This is my card of notes of things I need to remember to talk to you about. I don't see any more questions. Oh, Pam, I love these online parties. I am glad I got to see this one. I missed the last one. Many ideas running through my head. Good, I'm glad that you have lots of ideas. That's what I want. That's why I do these. Keep people inspired and loving this. So, okay, so our winner tonight is Lorena Snyder. So Lorena, if you will send me your, you'll have to email me with your address or send me a message. Get a hold of me some way, and I will get this sent out to you as soon as I get that message. So congratulations. Is there anybody else that has any questions? I'll stick around for a little bit longer on Facebook and kind of keep checking on YouTube to see if there's any other questions. I gotta go in now and kind of fix up that video because it got kind of messed up. So if you have no further questions, thank you ladies for sticking with me tonight. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate. Just go ahead and give me a call or email or message me, and I would love to help you out. So thanks, and I hope you all have a great, let me check one more time. I hope you all have a great evening. Take care. Bye.